Hey, this is going to be my third video. This time, the guns I like to talk about is a little set of pistols that I've picked up over time that are relatively cheap to buy, cheap to own, and pretty easy to work on. I want to tell you how I come by them and what got me going toward that. First off, if you'll remember correctly, the last time that I did a video, I did a review over a New England Firearms 22 9-shot revolver. I wandered into a local pawn shop here in Purcell, Oklahoma, and I found this, and I thought it was interesting that this gun right here was a New England firearm. It's a pretty basic gun. There's nothing fancy about it, but it is functional. It does work. I will not lie and tell you it's the most accurate gun I've ever fired, because it's not, but at 10 feet it'll get in the middle and it'll hold a group. Of course, that has a lot to do with the shooter. Anyway, I didn't pay very much for the little gun, and what I found amazing about it is I own a few of those New England single shot shotguns we're probably all familiar with, and this gun was kind of neat that they made a pistol. I did not realize that. Anyway, the gun has been real fun to shoot. I've enjoyed it. It cleaned up nice, and it didn't cost a whole lot. I've met a few people that spend a lot of money on a 22, but for plinking, I'm not going to spend that much. And I kind of like the cheap pawn shop pistols sometimes. It's just some quirk I've always had. Some people can't understand it, but I do. And it has backfired on me before. I have bought a FIE that looked a lot like a Beretta. In fact, when I read up on it on the internet, a lot of people said, well, it's Beretta inspired, and then the argument ensued, and I checked out. I didn't know whether it was or wasn't. I didn't weigh in either way. Anyway, some time back, a coworker offered me a trade. He said he had a single action pistol. He told me what was wrong with it, and immediately I knew what the problem was, and I bought it, and I liked it. And you may be familiar with this brand of pistol as well. Again, it's not a super expensive gun, but I think for the money you pay, it's a phenomenal gun. It's a great gun. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. This is the weapon, in fact, that we're talking about. That is a Heritage Rough Rider. So I'm walking out to the parking lot, and a coworker of mine, he says to me, he says, hey, I have this, and I was interested, and for the price, I took it. But he told me, he says, now, when you go to cock it, pointing it down, the cylinder will rotate. But when you point it up, the cylinder will not rotate. Right away, I knew it was a hammer pawl. So I looked at the gun. The gun was clean. I have done nothing but just clean this gun up. I didn't have to fix no nicks or no mars or anything of that nature. But it is the first Heritage that I've ever owned. Now, I've owned several single action pistols, nothing high dollar, ROMs, stuff like that. And they had their problems. And I had one, I can't remember who made it. It may have been FIE, but the hammer was so wore out here in this area that it didn't even actuate the firing pin, and it ended up being a wall hanger. It's over there somewhere right now, or over there. I can't tell because all these heat lamps are in my face trying to do the perfect lighting that my daughter said I needed to do. Back to the gun. Anyway, next to nothing to order the part. I think you know the story. Shipping was more than the part, and in fact, I ordered a couple of them. And the gun shoots great, and the gun is fun to shoot. I enjoy it. Of course, you take it out and you shoot it for long, extensive periods of time, and it can gum up, especially using that Agera, I think that's how you pronounce it, ammunition. Has the eagle on the box. But anyway, the gun is great, and it's far more accurate than the little NEF is. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the feel. I enjoy the sound, the action. Everything about the gun is just phenomenal. I enjoy it. And it didn't break the bank. Now, so I had this gun, put it away in the top shelf of my safe, bring it out occasionally and shoot it, and enjoy it. So I go wandering into the local pawn shop where I live, where I get a bunch of different stuff. And I go to looking around, and hidden behind, it's funny, at the local pawn shop where I'm at, hidden behind some of his shotguns is a few more pistols, and I tend to look there to see what he's got. In fact, right now I've got a double action pistol. It's an older one made by High Standard. So I'm going to make some more payments and get it out. But anyway, I went to looking, and for about $100 bill out the door, I bought another Heritage. This one's got the shorter barrel on it, but it's actually the same pistol. Now, you've heard the age-old tale that the longer barrel makes it more accurate. I don't know. Both of these are accurate. Both of these, at same distances when I'm shooting them, seem to do the same thing. Both of these pistols are well made. This one had no problems. This one did have a problem. I fixed this problem. And I've had no problems out of it, and I've shot them plenty of times. They're fun. My oldest daughter loves to shoot this little gun. I've got a video of her shooting it, and all she's doing is ringing a pipe hand with it. But anyway, why am I telling you about these? Well, in my opinion, Heritage makes a good pistol. Like I said earlier in the video, for what you pay for these pistols, it's well worth it. They're not like the ROMs. They're not like the FIEs. They're not like the older pistols, you know, the ones that were made in Germany. Now, I understand that Ruger's making a budget single action, and I have to admit, I'm actually, I think they call it the Wrangler, I'm not sure, but I might be interested in getting that myself. But really, it's just to complement these two. I actually am thinking about having some holsters made for these and make a rig that holds both of these guns. I've also got on order a Magnum cylinder that will swap into both of them, because both of these pistols are the same pistols, just with different barrels, different wood handle grips. That's about it. They're both the same. Taken them both apart, looked at both of them, they're the same. Out of the two, I don't know why, but the little short one is funner to shoot, and I don't know, it's just the feel of it, and you know, it's just kind of reminiscent of them, the guns that they used, you know, of course a scaled down version of what they used in the old cowboy movies in the 30s. You know, it seems like all of them had a little short barreled Colt, you know, instead of the long barreled one. But anyway, you know, I enjoy the cheap 22s. They're fun to shoot. You have just as much fun as somebody that's going out there and shooting a 357 or a 45 or a 45 long Colt, but at a way fraction of the cost. I mean, I even reload, and I can tell you that shooting 22s is cheaper. And these guns, they didn't break the bank. You know, a lot of times I'll be out there on the range, and people will look at them, and people who don't know Heritage firearms will ask me, well, how much is that? And when I tell them, they're like, oh, that's affordable. You know, I might be interested in that. I think Academy right now runs specials on them all the time. But like I said, you know, I usually go to a pawn shop, and I find these old guns sitting around, and I like them. You know, like I said, you know, sometimes choosing a cheap firearm at a pawn shop has backfired. Like I said, the little FIE 22 automatic that I bought, I was not impressed with. The little, I can't remember if it was the ROM or the FIE single action that I had, it was wore out. But if anybody's thinking about these Heritage firearms, in my opinion, you can't go wrong. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about these guns. I've watched reviews, and everybody usually says something pretty positive. You get a lot of guys who are highly critical on their internet channels or their videos, and they seem to like the guy. Or the gun, I should say. There was one video I thought was interesting. The guy had one, and he wasn't happy with the sights. As you well know, a lot of these have just the crease across the top of the receiver and the blade front sight. And he actually took the time to manipulate the front sight, and he actually did a good job with the way he done it. He sanded it down, re-blued it, bent it over a little bit, and he was actually showing videos of him shooting this weapon, and hitting a target. And that's the thing that I like to see is when people do things with these firearms and they go out and they prove it by shooting it, um, and they show it on film. And I always think that's a better video. Anyway, I appreciate you listening to this video, and I hope that helps somebody. Like I said, these heritages, they're just neat. And if you ever get a chance, log on to their website, look at what all they have. They have a lot of different models. And from what I understand, they also make big bore pistols. So that might be something I might start looking around for, because you never know what pops up at the local pawn shops when I look around. Anyway, I will turn this video off, and thank you.